So I wanted to talk you through weightlifting shoes, why they're important, why they are really good little piece of kit to have as part of your training resume, your go-to bag, your kit bag, call it what you will. So what is the purpose of a weightlifting shoe? Well, it's really just to give you some stability. When you're doing sort of heavier lifts, Olympic lifts, what it does is it really gives you that stability through the foot. Because you think there's a lot of weight going through your foot. Your foot is your contact point with the floor. Really important to make sure you've got a stable base. It does that by, most shoes will have a lacing system, and it will also have a strap that goes across the shoe which you can pull tight. Really makes that nice and stable. It's got a solid base, so there's, unlike a trainer, there's no give in this. So as you engage through a movement, your foot or your heel isn't going to drop into that nice cushioned gel sole, which, you know, obviously running trainers have for that purpose. You're also going to notice that it has a block or a wedge heel. What that does is it actually puts you into plantar flexion. So plantar flexion, if you think of it, is pointing your toes. You might have seen in the gym, some people use a weight plate or a wedge under the heels when they're squatting. And the reason that works for a lot of people is if they lack the range to go through a full squat, when you go through a squat, you're actually putting your foot from a plantar flex position into a dorsiflex position. So one of these shoes essentially gives you some artificial joint range. Now that's great, but it's also not great, because you need to make sure that you develop the flexibility so you don't become reliant on that range of movement. But that said, these are a really good piece of kit to have. So just to recap, your weightlifting shoe gives you support through the foot for your heavier lifts. It's got the strapping system there which allows you to have that. Also got this wedge shape heel that you see there, which gives you that artificial range. So something that is certainly worth considering. I personally do not like doing heavy lower limb lifts without weightlifting shoes. I cannot stand lifting in trainers. It just feels wrong. But you know, it comes down to preference. Sometimes I'll take my trainer, if I've gone to the gym and I've forgotten my lifters, I'll take my trainers off and I'll lift in bare feet. But I wouldn't try doing Olympic lifts in bare feet. You do need some support, okay? That's okay if you're doing something like a deadlift, to lift in your socks or whatever. But yeah, you wouldn't want to be trying to do some of the more explosive power lifts with bare feet. Okay, hope that makes sense.